Gibraltar is a fortress and it's covered with fortifications, but not just on the outside. In fact, Gibraltar is honeycombed with tunnels, and there's 34 miles of tunnel inside the rock, which is more than double the amount of roads we've got on the outside. So yes, Gibraltar is a living fortress.
Really opens right up.
These tunnels, they all connect up, and there's hospitals, there's kitchens, there's a bakery, there's frozen food stores. The plan was to be able to house and cater for 16,000 men and women.
1,000?
Yes.
These rooms used to be the King's Regiment headquarters. But one discovery in the 1990s stunned Gibraltarians. The infamous Stay Behind cave.
All to do with an urban myth that was hanging around town. People used to talk about this, about hidden tunnels, secret tunnels. And so for many years, people were looking for them, but nobody ever found anything. And so by the 1990s, it was dismissed as an urban myth.
It's a myth.
Until one day, some of the cavers found something.
If Gibraltar were to fall into enemy hands, a top secret plan called Operation Tracer was in place to bury 6 men in the rock with 1 year's supply of food. Their job was to spy and radio back intelligence to the UK.
What do we have here?
This is what would have been the main living chamber. This is if you look at the floor, it's been covered by cork tiles. Now, the idea of this was to suppress any noise so that the men wouldn't make any noise when they were living here. This would have been the radio shack.
All right. And latrines.
Of the 6 people chosen, there were 2 radio operators, a doctor, an officer, and a signalman.
And then here we have the remains of the bicycle, and instead of a bicycle chain, it had a leather strap. And then that would have provided a means of generating electricity to power their radio. And also at the back you can see there's like a fan attached to what would have been the back wheel. And the idea of that was that was going to provide ventilation.
The plan was for the men to hide and monitor air traffic on and off the runway and shipping movements into the Med, the Bay of Gibraltar and the Atlantic. This was their only access to daylight.
So this was a really plum spot.
That's why they chose this particular point of view.
Access here is limited, but through Gibraltar Museum, up to 30 people a year are allowed to visit the Stay Behind cave, based on a first-come, first-served basis.